were thinking the same thing.
I wonder where she gets her temper from.
I don't have to stand here and be insulted, the irate man said. I was trying to do you people a favor. You people.
You're right,
Grammy said.
You don't have to stand here, and I prefer it if you didn't. Kindly take your child and leave. We don't need your kind of favors.
Wait until I tell everyone about how you treated me today, he snarled. I pointed to a group of people who had gathered around to record the scene with their cell phones. Please do, but be sure to tell the entire story. If not, I'm sure they will. Come on, Jessica, he said, hoisting his screaming and kicking daughter in the air. We're leaving.
I want a kitty,
she wailed as he carried her out the door. Everyone inside the shelter shared a collective sigh of relief once the man and his daughter left. We enjoyed the blissful silence for several seconds. Then, as if a movie director yelled action, everyone simultaneously went back to what they were doing. I looked into my grandmother's twinkling dark brown eyes that were identical to mine. I was gonna handle it, I assured her. Grammy knew I hated confrontations, but I wasn't about to let the idiot adopt Boris because his daughter had thrown a fit. I might not have been as blunt as you were, but I was handling it.
I know you were, honey,
she said, but it sounded a lot like she was pacifying me. She dubbed me the Gentle Giant as far back as I could remember, and she wasn't wrong. The only time a person saw the ferocity I kept hidden deep beneath my skin was during sports or fucking.
I'm just gonna return to my station since you've got everything under control over here.
They put me in charge of 4 crates with 5 cats. Boris and Natasha refused to be separated, and whoever adopted one better believe they were taking the other. I looked around the shelter and smiled at the happy, well-balanced families in attendance who were choosing their next fur friend. Then my eyes landed on the gorgeous face of a man I'd resigned myself to never seeing again. Trent Love. The first time I'd looked into his light blue eyes, we were working together to deliver a baby at the curl-up-and-dye hair salon. Trent was there getting a haircut when one of the stylists had gone into labor in the small kitchenette. The call had come over the radio when I was driving home after a long shift, and since I was both a fireman and paramedic, I stopped by to lend a hand. There was an immediate spark between us, even though we were opposites in every conceivable way. Trent, with his blonde hair and light blue eyes and shorter, leaner frame, was a gorgeous contrast to my taller, darker bulk. The differences didn't start and stop with our looks, either. He was a doctor with an expensive education, and his wardrobe probably cost more than my new truck. I was a fireman and a paramedic with no college education and a penchant for faded blue jeans and old T-shirts. A few weeks after we met, Josh Roman Wyatt, the salon owner, threw a pool party at his home to thank us for safely delivering his best friend's baby girl. Seeing Trent lounging poolside in short black swim trunks showcasing long toned legs and chiseled abs and pecs made me temporarily forget I was out of his league. Trent smiled and waved me over when I'd arrived. He said he'd reserved the lounger beside his for the other guest of honor. We spent the night flirting, drinking, and laughing. Trent had a sharp, wicked sense of humor, which put me at ease. When he invited me on a date for the following weekend, I thought to myself, this could be the one. It only took 30 minutes into our date to realize just how far out of my league he was, and it killed any hope I had of taking our night further. I liked sex as much as the next guy, but I was beyond drive-by fucking at 32 years old, especially with men who lived in the same tiny town as I did. If I wanted a hookup, I'd go to Vibe and find one. Trent hadn't understood my sudden change in attitude, and I'd hated upsetting him. It wasn't his fault that he could afford to eat at restaurants.